Gold prices hit all-time highs in the past 24 hours amid fears of a global trade war. President Donald Trump's tariffs on steel and aluminum sending prices of the precious metal above $2,900 an ounce. Yahoo Finance's Ines Ferré has more. Hey, Ines.
Hey, Brad. Yeah, and gold has now hit 8 all-time highs in 2025. Year-to-date, gold is up 10%. As you mentioned, investors really flocking towards the safe haven. You have some structural changes when it comes to gold over the last year. Over the last several years, you've had more central bank buying. Last year, you had all-time high demand for gold, ETF buying as well. So really right now, what we're seeing is that we're looking at that $3,000 level in sight. The question is whether we get a reversal beforehand. Wednesday's inflation print will be very important because gold is considered a hedge against inflation, but higher rates, if the Fed decides to continue with higher rates for longer, then that is not as appealing towards this non-yielding asset. So tomorrow's inflation print will be important. Jay Powell's testimony as well will be important to take a look at what happens with gold. But certainly, this has been the safe haven most favored by investors recently.
All right, and as also, let's take a look at oil because oil prices also moving to the upside despite some of those tariff risks. What do you make of the climb? And I guess what you're hearing just about maybe how high we could be headed.
Yeah, there's a couple of issues that are at hand here when it comes to oil, because over the last several sessions, we've seen that oil has been reversing its 3-week decline that we had seen recently. So you've got a couple of factors. Russian sanctions that are impacting flows. You have Russian oil that is being shipped to China and India. That's been impacted by the latest latest U.S. sanctions against Russia. Whereas before the sanctions against Russia, they could kind of get around those. These are more difficult to get around. The other thing is the Iranian supply concerns because of U.S. imposed sanctions on Iran. They're very limited, but still, nonetheless, this creates jitters about the flow in the future of Iranian oil. Trump has talked about maximum pressure against Iran. Countering this, as you mentioned, the tariffs. So this could be setting a sort of cap on these prices. But right now, it looks like there is a reversal of the trend. Oil was in a bearish trend. We are starting to see a little bit of a reversal. And what will be important in the future is what OPEC decides to do, what the oil cartel decides to do, because there's some analysts that are saying that OPEC may extend again its output cuts, guys.
All right, Ines, thanks so much.